climbing to the top, I vow, yeah, I'm addicted to winning. If that's a sin, I'll be sinning. I'm disciplined when I'm in it, and this is just the beginning. The money, yeah, I'll be printing while helping others make millions. See, I'm not selfish, no villain, but still I'm making the killing. I'm here for greatness. You can't lock me into cages. Deserve to be on stages. I will be the greatest. Do it yourself, I made it. DIY from the basement. I'll take my life into my own hands, my own plan. Yeah, I got a backbone, designing my own program. I'll mentor the next wave of the bravest, so don't be late, I'm about to make changes. One shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. Got 'em like, hey, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. You got one shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. Got 'em like, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. Yeah, I'm on it, it's not coming. To be the best, I can be on the mountain. I see you on the other side, gonna live my best life, pushing on through the pain that was coming. Yeah, I'm on it, it's not coming. To be the best, I can be on the mountain. I see you on the other side, gonna live my best life, pushing on through the pain that was coming. You must be rare. Got 'em like, hey, hey, I will not stop.
Save on every range in the Oak.
Just trying to get the video up with the music going to get the link I need to verify the correct link. No, not speed dial, you spoon. Let's try that. How is that? How is that? What is the link on the video? How is that not working? Like seriously, how is that not working? That's weird as fudge, man. That is what the fuck. Straight up. Straight up, what the actual fuck is that? Okay, so the link's not working. That's awkward. That is very awkward. That is awkward. Okay, so well that's really that is really awkward, and I don't know why it is doing what it is doing. I don't know what the actual fuck is wrong with it. Right, why is that doing that? Okay. Okay. That's weird as shit. Let's see if this link works. Wipe that off. Paste that in. Let's see if that one works. Nope. So this is weird. I think what it's doing is it's not copying it correctly. I don't actually know what's going on here. That's a shame. I was hoping to actually have that going. But apparently, it doesn't wanna give me the link. So that's annoying. That is very annoying. I cannot get the link to work. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Shouldn't have even been on the live screen yet either. But there you go. That goes to show that I'm currently trying to do too many things at once. Again, it's not the first time I've done this. I have got the link in the description. At least the link it gives me. So I have got the link it gives me as in YouTube. It being YouTube gives me, and apparently the link is valid in the description. I've just gone into the description. I've just tried it. The link works. I don't have any idea why it was being funny, but whatever. Whatever, bro. Whatever. I honestly have no idea why that wasn't working just now. But it is working on my fucking phone and not my fucking PC. That is weird. That is weird. That is ultra fucking weird. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Get off of that. I don't want to do that. Let's open it up. Put the song on. Alright, so. Bear with me just a minute. If you're trying to join me on stream, just bear with me a minute.
I was born to be a fighter, had these dreams and desires I would be something better.
Because
got a fire in my soul to keep burning. A pain that keep hurting. A curse is emerging.
I'm not jumping straight in as I'm adjusting something.
To the top of this shit, I get lost in the work, sweat dripping, not a bitch. I get mad, I get pissed, I get after this shit. Hit the gas, feel the grip, adrenaline, never miss. I'm not patient, but I've learned to embrace it. Cause I've been working, I've been waiting, never complacent. Cause I'm so close.
I get that most other people would have done this before starting the stream. But I'm not most other people, am I? Oh, for fuck's sake. It's doing that again. No. 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 That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's... So that's what I want. Yeah, I can't. I have to do it that way. Oh, that's silly. I am mistyping this. I had a thing going.
No doubt I'll be the best pound for pound. I'm obsessed with winning, this is my house, so watch out. I'm coming to the top, I value, I'm addicted to winning. If that's a sin, I'll be sinning. I'm disciplined when I'm in it, and this is just the beginning. The money, yeah, I'll be printing while helping others make millions. See, I'm not selfish, no villain, but still I'm making the killing. I'm here for greatness, you can't lock me into cages. Deserve to be on stages, I will be the greatest. Do it yourself, I made it. DIY from the basement, I'll take my life into my own hands. My own plan, yeah, I got a backbone, designing my own program. I'm head to the next wave of the bravest, so don't be late, I'm about to make changes. Life ain't fair, are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. Got 'em like, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. You got one shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top,
Nope.
you must be rare. Got 'em like,
Do feel free to comment, by the way. I can't see the comments. So don't worry, I can't see the comments. case anyone's worried that I won't see the comments. I will see the comments, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to finish something for the live screen. My native language is failing me. Alright, let's close the music off. Since I pretty much got it done, it's just going to be touch and go on the live screen. Don't know if you guys can already see the live screen or not. You probably can. You probably saw me messing with it. But there we go. It is what it is. It is what it is. I really want to mod. This shuts these damn doors. So before I get properly into what I'm wanting to talk about, because there's a few things that I'm wanting to talk about, I just want to make sure that everything's coming through on the actual screens that you guys can see, which judging by it, it is. Firing range. Okay, so to close the door when you know. Anyway, they won't learn. They'll end up leaving it again. So, what I am wanting to discuss today is a bit more news on GTA, a bit more of the drama news from what I've been hearing as of late. I know drama's not exactly popular, but hey, you know, if the guy's not quit it, the guy's not quit it. It's more of a heads up for people really than anything. Wrong button again. So, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? For once I'm gonna leave my helmet on, spice it up. Who am I kidding? I won't be able to do much with that on. In terms of ease of breathing and vision. Okay, so first matter of business is that again, from what I've been hearing, the guy from the last Brotherhood of Steel radio stream, I'm not going to name him again, I've already called him out once, he hasn't stopped. From what I've heard, he has not stopped. He is still going, talking his jaw off, bad-mouthing people, but that is what it is. In other news, in GTA news, for Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS5 and the new Xboxes, the latest gen, I don't keep track of what your Xboxes are called. I really don't. But in terms of that, the recent most car to release was the Park Ranger SUV, and not long after that, I have seen people driving around in the unreleased Gauntlet Hellfire Police Interceptor. Don't ask me how to get it, I have no idea. I don't even know how they got it. But they're going around in it. So there's a bit of GTA news for you. In other Fallout news, later this year, at some point, we are expecting the second part of Atlantic City, which is going to be quite interesting. And then, of course, after that, at some point again this year, unless it gets pushed back, the long-awaited, long-requested, and, to be brutally honest, the most wanted thing by everyone in the community, an actual map expansion will be coming out for 76. Now, I understand that there's going to be a lot of people who are Enclave fans who are going to be like, well, we don't really want this, we want an Enclave DLC. Yeah, well, how are they meant to add an Enclave DLC if they don't expand the map to allow for the Enclave to make a comeback? Come on! I also am going to take this moment to mention that YouTube doesn't like me taking the mick out of the Enclave. They do not like me taking the piss out of the Enclave in the slightest for the way they dress. It's not going to change my opinion. I still say you dress like a certain group from World War II. I'm not going to repeat the joke. The last time I repeated the joke, in my opinion, it got the stream took down, which has kind of bugged me a little bit, but it is what it is. I suppose YouTube doesn't have a sense of humour. Or an understanding that, you know, I'm talking about fictional groups and fictional people, not actual people, a lot of the time. Now, in terms of, obviously, PlayStation users, if I call out your username and I'm saying you're bad-mouthing people and you're causing drama, that's from what I have heard, and I'm alerting people in the community that I have heard these things are going on. So that is not me trying to do anything other than spread news and word of mouth of what I have heard before anybody takes that out of context. In regards to GTA 5, I have no idea if there's going to be another drip feed car today or if it's going to be next week. I have no idea, but that is what that is. That being said, do bear in mind that obviously I only get to hear what I hear from people who come and tell me things. I don't get to hear often from the source. I will say this, like, in response to, again, the guy from mentioning on the last episode of this stream, that guy will not talk to me. That guy straight up will not talk to me other than to hurl insults at me. That's what he did last time until somebody got him to simmer down. But then he went and started bad-mouthing that guy. So there's no winning with that. There's no winning with that at all. Now, it's a shame that people in the community are going to those lengths. But it is what it is. There is some other developments that I am aware of in terms of 76 that I'm not going to discuss at the moment. Largely because it involves two people currently jostling for power in a group or fighting one another over something to do with one guy stabbing the other in the back, and I don't really have the full picture to fully go into it, so I'm not going to cover it right now. If I can get a hold of the other side to get the full picture, then I might cover it here, I might not, but from what I've been hearing largely from one side, the other side has basically stabbed them in the back, Metaphorically, YouTube, metaphorically, because I know what you guys are like for taking things out of context. But again, I can't really comment on this one yet, as I don't have enough sources to actually go on the record saying anything more than that, other than it looks like a civil war is going on there, and I'm staying clear of it for now, in terms of journalism, because, again, I haven't heard the other side's case at all. Now, that being said, you know, this kind of thing in groups on 76 is not a surprise to me. It's not a surprise to me for multiple reasons, the biggest of which is the fact that that game, according to a lot of people who I've spoken to who've quit the game, just happens to bring drama. But here's my point, it's not the game that causes the drama, it's the people playing it. Like, say what you will about who you will doing something you don't agree with, right? In their group. That's fine. You can have a difference of opinion of how they run their group. But at the same time, you know, accountability people, we have to be held accountable. Clan leaders on GTA, faction leaders / guild leaders on 76, Skyrim means ESO. We've all got to be held accountable. We cannot not be held accountable by members. Key word there, by members. Members being the key word. Right? Because if you're not in the group, because you left over a disagreement, then you no longer have the right to criticise the way that group is running, because they might have been spoken to by other members after you've left, and that may no longer be an issue. So you can't really say that your opinion is valid and non-biased, because that just may not be the case. At some point, I might actually just stand here with the radio on like this, just speaking to you guys, covering the news. I'm not 100% on that yet. Thank you for the like, by the way. So, in news here, according to Spartan72 Gaming, Enclave hacking, biggest thing I've learned from 76 community is don't open doors you can't close. Very good advice. Very, very good advice right there. And don't worry, I'm on an open frequency if you're trying to get in on the conversation. You don't need to hack into an open channel. This is being broadcast on an open civilian frequency. Relax. Don't burn out your terminals trying to message me. You're perfectly fine. I'll answer your question when I'm done streaming. Right now, though, a word of advice to follow that statement by the viewer Spartan is, yeah, don't open doors you can't close. Yeah, that's a good one. Another good bit of advice here is don't go running around picking locks in people's camps, because you may find out one of these days that you get your butt turned into goop. Your avatar will get melted. There are players like myself who will go out of our way if you break into our camp to mow your butt down if you're not ready for a PvP. Even some people who are ready for PvP may get caught off guard by some of the tricks we know. I will say this, right? I will say this here and now. You know, another thing you shouldn't do if you're not expecting PvP is go into a public workshop. So to the low levels out there, to people thinking of getting into 76, do not, for the love of everything sane, take a workshop unless you want to PvP in a public server. Don't do it. You will only incur PvP. To the armor stackers out there, you suck. Get good at the game. That is not an opinion of just mine. That is from everyone else in the PvP community of 76. Get good. Stop using exploits. That being said, on the other news, on the topic again of GTA 5, I'm brushing on exploits that I'm aware of. The last car-to-car merge glitch that I was aware of was patched when the Park Ranger SUV came out. It got hot fixed. So if you were going to use that, the ticket booth method does not work anymore. You need a new method. How I know this is I tried it, and guess what? The ticket booths, they don't give you tickets. You can't request them. I tried several times in several different lobbies. It doesn't work. Yeah, so going back to 76, I 100% agree with that comment there. Spartan, I 100% agree that they need to add Team PvP back to 76. They should not have took that out. That added so much for roleplay groups to do, and even just PvPers in general. Like if you wanna PvP a lot as a group, as a team, you should be able to do that. Another thing, excuse me while I burp, I'm drinking a soda. Or a Coke, as we say in the UK. Another thing that I feel that they need to do, in terms of that, is increase the team size. 4 people on a team, it kinda sucks. Also, for private worlds and custom worlds, which we get with Fallout First, which we are paying for, we want and deserve bigger numbers for our servers. We should be able to have the same number of people playing in our private as we can get on a public server. Why that is not a thing, I have no idea, and it bugs the ever-loving daylights out of me. I mean, look at me, I'm in a bunker, so you can kind of guess how bugged I am at the fact that they haven't done that. I literally don't go in the daylight because it bugs the daylight out of me. Crappy jokes aside, though, to go back to GTA, because this is another similar thing with GTA, is it's a sandbox for a lot of people. They need to actually let players own what outfits they want to own. It's cosmetic. Like, I'm not buying the whole Take-Two Rockstar angle of, oh, we don't want you owning a police outfit because we don't want you being the good guy. Have you ever heard of corrupt police? I mean, you take the absolute piss out of it quite a bit in single-player GTA 5. Police or score. But again, you know, it is what it is. To come full circle, I would actually like a member of the Enclave to join me on a discussion at some point. That would be a nice thing to be able to bounce 2 different ideas from one side to the other and just have a general civilized discussion, a free speech discussion to, well, YouTube's clarification. But you know, a good old American discourse, as they say. To answer the question of how long I plan on doing this stream, it depends on how many points get brought up by viewers, how many viewers I'm going to respond to, and anything else that pops off while I'm live, because I might actually get notified of things while I'm live. So as of right now, as you can see, I'm in Hidden Valley. I'm in a modded section of Hidden Valley, which is my own personal quarters. Now, a lot of what I have seen has been positive as of late in terms of news coming out for 76. But I am going to say it again, we didn't ask for expeditions in the first place. That should not have been implemented the way it was. It should have been a separate map. So, to go on to another thing, I am going to pay attention to the newswire going forward. In fact, I'm going to see if anything's gone on the newswire now, just in case. Speaking of the Bethesda, where's the rest of our Brotherhood kits? Bethesda, you showed us another Brotherhood of Steel wall building kit, the Taggart Thunder wall and roofs kit. Where's that at, Bethesda? Huh? Where is it? Would really like to know where that is. That's actually quite funny from Bethesda there on X, formerly Twitter. I've forgotten when that came out. Nice. You know what I really want to see now that I've thought about it and I've just gone over it? I've just gone over stuff on X, formerly Twitter, is the faction flags. And no, I don't mean the ones that we've already got. I mean like the actual faction flags for groups like the Enclave, the original Fallout 4 flag for the Brotherhood of Steel. You know, the one that you can literally find flying on top of Fort Atlas, flying atop Fort Defiant, flying literally above Camp Venture as well. I'd also like to see them add the ASAM launcher that you can find at a lot of Brotherhood locations. There. Did you really just ask me if I'm on 3 on New Vegas? Did you seriously just... Bro, does this help? Does this help? Does that help? I won 3 on New Vegas. Does that help? If not, I've got another one. Where? Ta-da! Oh, here's an even better one. Here's an even better one. Ta-da! There's another one. I don't like the Legion. I don't like the Legion, they suck. They suck worse than the NCR. And to crack the joke again at the NCR's expense, you're a discount enclave. Get lost. You're not funny. You're not original either. You're just kinda sad. You even copied the Enclave's corruption. Which is sad. I'm gonna be honest. The Enclave in 76. The Enclave in 76 being wiped out by their self-sabotaged to get appointed president. The Enclave's President Eckhart of Fallout 76. He got exactly what he deserved. Colonel Santiago turned General Santiago. She was someone I would have liked to see as an Enclave leader. She would have been good in my opinion because she stood up saying, I thought I wanted revenge against the Reds, but I don't want revenge this badly. It's costing too many American lives. In the end, she realised they were going too far. Yeah, sure you were, sure you were, bro, master, sure you were. Sure you were. But that all being said here and now, right? We can only do so much nagging at Bethesda to get what we want, right? In my opinion, the only good Enclave member is one who is like Santiago, who says we shouldn't be doing this. We should be instead focusing on rebuilding our nation, reunifying our nation, and we can worry about everything else later, like the super mutants and the feral ghouls. They can be dealt with later. Heck, they can be dealt with by the Brotherhood of Steel. We will happily deal with that mess. You know? There's things that the Enclave and the Brotherhood have in common on that topic, which is a hatred of super mutants and ghouls. Before anybody goes out there, read the top of the screen. Read the top of the screen. She wasn't just a real soldier in the end. She accepted that it was going too far. My only issue with the Enclave, and I'll say it again, my only issue with the Enclave is the fact that they view everybody who is not them as a mutant, and they try to wipe them out. That is my only problem with the Enclave. They've got their head so far up their backside, they can't even realise that they're going to wipe themselves out trying to wipe out mutation. They're gonna go extinct. They don't have the genetic gene pool to succeed if they get rid of every other human on the planet. They're just not gonna succeed. It's not going to happen. And I've got to be that voice of reality. For all the good that the Enclave can do, like restoring the American democratic government and bringing back in full the Constitution and so on and so forth, they have a lot of things going wrong. A lot of people will point out the Brotherhood isn't much better, but we actually are. On one hand, you know, our policy towards technology is a massive source of friction between us and outsiders. And I will say this again, would you rather raiders be in possession of stuff that's going to melt people you care about to puddles of goo, or vaporize them to ash, or the Brotherhood of Steel, who isn't really going to use it unless we have to. Because a lot of the time, and another member of the Fallout community actually raised this, a lot of the time the Brotherhood doesn't even react if you're wearing power armor. Because you're not making yourself a threat. Now, would the Brotherhood of Steel like to confiscate it? More than likely. Does the Brotherhood of Steel offer a finder's fee? Yes. Yes, we do. There's a finder's fee for things such as technical data, technical documents. The Brotherhood Outcasts in Fallout 3 give you a finder's fee in the form of stim packs, radaway, ammunition for energy weapons, power armor, even ammunition, even energy ammo. They'll give you supplies. They will pay you for it. They're not outright hostile. That's a good question, and I'll answer you in just a moment. So here's the thing, though, right? To highlight this, even the Brotherhood of Steel outcasts, who were in line with the New Vegas doctrine, as I'm going to coin it, they did not fire on civilians. It's just not how the Brotherhood operates. The Brotherhood of Steel were founded from the remnants of the US government's military. You know, they were formed from the US Army. The US military as a whole. I say the US government's military because there's so many different branches, I can't remember them all off the top of my head. But the point here is, right, you can joke all you want about the Brotherhood being anti-civilian, but that's just not the case. Our whole mission as the Brotherhood of Steel is so that generations from now, when civilization finally rises once more from the ashes to how it was before the war, has the technology preserved and the knowledge preserved, but not only that, is so you can get there in the first place. Because look at all the super mutants running around. Look at all the Scorched in 76. And that's just skimming the very top layer of ice on the iceberg of hostile creatures in the wasteland. But to come around to the point made here, the Enclave members on the oil rig are hypocrites. That is correct, they are indeed. Now the other Enclaves, we don't know what their morals are. Well, we have an idea. We have an idea of what their morals are. We have an idea of what their morals are based off of the oil rig Enclave, and of course the Enclave of Appalachia under Eckhart. It would be extremely anti-communist. That much is guaranteed. But it would also be potentially the exact same mess as the oil rig, as some fans of the Enclave speculate, like with America Rising too. I hope we get to see an Enclave group at some point in this franchise that wasn't hijacked, where the Enclave continuity of government group that it is survived as it was intended to be. So they're actively trying to restore local government. So to give an example of what I mean is, you know, let's use Massachusetts, right? You got Boston, Massachusetts, right? The Boston government is non-existent. But what would be nice is if there'd be an Enclave group in an area like Boston that would try to restore the Boston local state government. that would be nice to see if they're actively, you know, helping people, giving them medication, studying radiation-based mutations, trying to find a way to reverse it, to, you know, restore free mutation genetics to the population, that sort of thing, instead of the oil rigs. Oh, let's wipe everybody out. And it's not just the oil rig, it's Colonel Autumn and President Eden of the Capital Wasteland as well, that were wipe the slate clean, to quote Father Elijah. Crazy kook. Utter madman. Elijah is literally proof of genius and madness being two sides of the same coin. Like that man went absolutely batshit nuts. Like, he straight up went cuckoo and lost it because he wasn't communicating. He made life harder for himself. He fucked himself up. He fucked himself up pretty fucking good with that one. And he's yet again, you know, he's an example of what happens if we're not careful. What can happen if the wrong person gets into a position of power and has access to old world technology that isn't being safeguarded. And he knew what was in Helios 1. He knew what it connected to, but he didn't tell anyone else. And that's why ultimately he lost Helios 1. The Brotherhood of Steel was sent to the Mojave to inspect Hoover Dam. We've lost Hoover Dam, we've lost Helios 1. We've only got really Hidden Valley left. And that's not even mentioning all the technology of Big Mountain. All the sciencey, crazy stuff that's gone on there, all the advanced weapons technology and other technologies that are housed within. You know, there's a lot that can be done here, and there's a lot of missed opportunities no matter how you look at it. In my opinion, you know, again, it would be nice to see an Enclave route that breaks the stereotypically cartoon evil vibe that the Enclave's gone with since Fallout 2. It would be nice to see an Enclave group that's genuinely trying to help everyone, that has no hidden agenda, that's genuinely trying to be the good guys, and that ends up making peace with the Brotherhood of Steel. That would be perfect. That would be perfect. Because at the end of the day, the Enclave and the Brotherhood of Steel, they're not gonna make friends very easily. Especially if the Enclave does not recognize the Brotherhood of Steel's independence and self-governance. It's just not gonna happen. But this all being said, you know, again, this is the point of this type of thing with Brotherhood of Steel Radio. This is the whole point. Is it lets me have idea discussions with you, the viewers. It lets both sides speak and be heard. You know, in a way that I feel that a lot of other live podcasts don't do. You know, like, they read every now and then, but I try to read as you say what you're saying. I try to keep an eye on the comments as much as possible, and include my viewers as much as possible. I know that they probably do the same on the bigger channels, but it's easier for me because of the times I stream. It really is. But this all being said, you know, it all comes down to leadership with factions in Fallout. Be they, you know, canon story factions like Fallout New Vegas is NCR and the Legion, or the Brotherhood versus the Enclave in Fallout 2, Fallout 3, you know, or heck, you know, the factions in Fallout 4. The serious ones, at least, not the Railroad, they're more of a joke. But the point is, it's all about leadership. If your leadership is rotten to the core, your group's going to end up rotten to the core. If the leadership is so blinded by their own beliefs, then they're not going to see reality. Well, here's the thing, Sparker, right? While yes, most Enclave fans do indeed follow the Fallout 3 and the Enclave Oil Rig Control Station Enclave's ideals of purity, very bad ideas. Do not ever go off the ideology of purity. That is a very dark, very deep rabbit hole. Do not go off that. But because they're so hell-bent on following that evil, cartoonish / historical mantra of racial genetic purity, that's why they're doomed to fail. And I have actually run into Enclave groups within the PlayStation end of the community, at the very least, that do not follow that philosophy. Where they say, oh, we're the Enclave. Yes, we identify with the Enclave. We identify with the continuity of government. But we do not agree that every human outside of the Enclave is a mutant. And we do not agree with restarting the nuclear war with China. And I've even had it where they said, you know, I'd rather make peace with even the Brotherhood of Steel as opposed to fight them, because at the end of the day we want the same end result. We have the same goal, to restore America to as it was before the war. Whole, united, and, well, let's be honest, a beautiful place to go or live. You know, you're not gonna get that very often anymore, where groups can sit down and openly discuss this kind of thing. I've even run into Free States groups that have expressed common ground with the Brotherhood of Steel. You know, it happens a lot more than you think, because the law of Fallout is not black and white. It isn't good versus evil. There's a lot of overlap. Yeah, I agree with that. Now I cannot say what you've just said, because I've made World War II Germany jokes about the Enclave, and YouTube doesn't like it. So I can't say what you've just put in words. But I agree fully there. You know, the Enclave is evil to the point where it's stupid. They're just overly evil. Like, the Brotherhood of Steel, while, yeah, we're definitely not the best when it comes to interactions with the outside. But if you actually look at it, the Brotherhood of Steel is sat more in the middle. We're literally sat more or less in the middle. We're neither the good guys, but we're also not the bad guys. We're sat round the middle. We'll like move slightly one way or the other, but we largely stay under neutral. Whereas groups like the NCR initially, they did a lot of good, and they did then a lot of bad. And what I mean by that is, you know, they granted equal rights for ghouls, which I suppose is a good thing, depending on which side of the fence you're on. Personally, I don't trust a ghoul not to turn feral and rip my face off in the middle of the night, but that's me. I've seen the scribes doing the science down the hall. on radiation exposure that ghouls have been under. It is not going to end well for them, I'm afraid. Judging by the data I've seen, they are going to turn feral. That's the data I've seen. Now, to back that up, I have found evidence in Luca World that supports this statement that I've just said. I highly recommend you play it if you haven't, because the law there is that the ghouls were looking to try to find a cure for ferals and for their condition, and they just can't find one because it doesn't exist. And it is a tragedy. It really is, because when you think about it, right, the knowledge that a ghoul possesses that is going to be lost, either because groups like the Brotherhood or the Enclave open fire, or random wastelanders open fire, or because they go feral, is tragic. And I strongly encourage any ghoul out there that has pre-war technological knowledge, medical knowledge, write it down. Get a book, get an old blank book, write everything down that's related to your pre-war field of knowledge. Be it, you know, terminal repair, pit boy repair, science, biology, you know, medicine, surgery. Write it down. Write down a detailed step-by-step guide for people to be able to learn from you when you are gone. We're living in a wasteland, people. Let's not make sure it turns into a new Stone Age even more than it already has. But this is the thing, right? Again, we live in a wasteland wherein people are not recording their knowledge. They're not writing it down. They're not writing down, beware of the Deathclaw that lives 600 meters in the cliffs to the northwest. They're not writing, you know, aim for the Red Scorpion's stinger tail. They're not writing useful knowledge for survival down either. You know, this combined with this can make a healing salve. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But again, you know, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. We've got so many individuals with knowledge in this wasteland, be it survival knowledge that they've gathered from living in the wasteland, or be it because they're a ghoul from pre-war days of yore, or even a cyborg from days of yore, or they were cryogenically frozen. You know, they have all this knowledge and they're not going to record it. They're not going to write it down. They're not going to write a step-by-step guide of how to build a Mr. Handy. You know, they're not going to memorize that. You know, they're not going to do it. The Brotherhood of Steel. It was stated that we were to find every schematic, every note, every holotape, every book that we could find that had knowledge of the old world. Even history books. Even history books. Because the knowledge contained within is worth a hell of a lot more than people realise. Let that sink in for a minute now, right? We've got all this knowledge. This just fizzling away. It's just fizzling away, we're losing it. Because, as far as I know, beyond the followers of the Apocalypse and the Brotherhood of Steel, Nobody else is trying to preserve it. Nobody else is trying to write down and copy down the stuff that came before. We're losing so much stuff. And it's not good. It's not good. So to quote it exactly from the founder of the Brotherhood of Steel, to quote it from Roger Maxon himself, he has holotape recordings in '76. Again, if you haven't played it, play it even if it's just for the lore. Oh yeah, absolutely, knowledge is power, and we understood. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel, because I am a heavy Brotherhood player, I rarely ever play anything other than the Brotherhood. We do understand that. It's basic common sense, people. It's basic common sense. We cannot rebuild this great nation if the foundation and the blueprint to make said foundation is lost to us. We straight up can't. Because who's going to know how to make a foundation? Nobody. Because the knowledge of how to do it hasn't been written down. They didn't write it down. But to put the Brotherhood's original orders, right? Or at least in regards to technology. So this is in regards to technology by Roger Maxon, the founder of the Brotherhood of Steel. One of the Brotherhood's standing orders is being on the lookout for valuable technology. Anything that would help us in our efforts. But as I look in every direction, I see chaos. The lights are out, and men have become little better than barbarians. Civilization is something I think of every day. Right? That's just the first part. And I know the Enclave agrees with what Maxon is saying on that. Right? So in order to rebuild that, to reclaim that, our successors are going to need the secrets of the past. And those secrets are in danger of slipping through our fingers forever. Let that sink in. Roger Maxon states, to rebuild that, to reclaim that, our successors are going to need the secrets of the past, and those secrets are in danger of slipping through our fingers forever. What he means by that is, the knowledge of the past is in danger of being lost to us, lost to time, if we don't act to save it. Say what you will about how we in the Brotherhood of Steel take your laser pistol. Hate us for it, but remember, we're also safeguarding knowledge, historical knowledge, knowledge of technologies, blueprints, schematics, instruction manuals, of things that you may one day benefit from if you only let us do what we have to do. To further the point of High Elder Maxon, Roger Maxon I, so far our scribes have been tools to help protect our knights and maintain our bases. That means maintaining weapons and armour, and power armour, and everything else needed to safeguard a Brotherhood installation. That needs to change. The Brotherhood is going to be more than an armed fighting force. We're going to be the guardians of civilization. So whenever you see the Brotherhood of Steel charging in against super mutants, charging in against raiders, heck, slamming against the Enclave, remember, we're doing it because we know better than to let these things continue unabated, continue unchallenged. We know better than to let them run amok. Our experience, for example, with the Enclave is Fallout 2 and Fallout 3. Let me correct myself, I nearly said Fallout. But Fallout 2 and 3 is, if it isn't in the Enclave, it needs to die because it's a mutant. That's not true. And the Brotherhood knows that. But to get back on topic here, right? Here's the exact line that I was quoting initially. Now this is the standing order part. So we have to grab every schematic, every holotape, every book, and every goddamn note that holds the building blocks of the old world before it's too late. Our scribes will hold on to them, preserve them, perhaps even progress beyond them. And like the knights will protect them like a hard shell around a precious seed. One day, when the time is right, that seed will grow, and a new civilization shall be born. Like the medieval knights at the fall of Rome, safeguarded what they believed to be Western civilization and the knowledge of it, so too does the Brotherhood of Steel. That hence why the Brotherhood of Steel is ordered in ranks of Knight, Paladin. That is why. Because we are copying the past. We are mirroring it. Granted, our technology is vastly different. But ultimately what we're doing is the same. We're trying to preserve and safeguard what we can. That's also why in Fallout 3 Elder Lions will tell you our orders were to protect humanity's progress, not necessarily every human. Yes? Arthur Maxson, Fallout 4. Again, to come full circle, the man is doing the right thing. He is bringing about sponsored entry into the Brotherhood of Steel. That is the right course of action. You know, I understand caution is key, given the fact that groups like the Institute that outright oppose the Brotherhood seek to infiltrate the Brotherhood to destroy it. Groups like the Railroad are proof of that. The Railroad declares war on the Brotherhood of Steel for no other reason than the Brotherhood sees androids, synths, as a threat to the survival of humanity and thus a threat to civilization. That is why the synths are hunted down and destroyed. That is why. The Brotherhood of Steel may have got an isolationist, but they didn't lose sight of the mission. Yeah, they let mistrust cloud their judgment and make them seal themselves off. But in the end, they didn't lose sight of the big picture. Threats like the Master and his super mutants, the Brotherhood of Steel elders or the Elder Council were like, oh, there's nothing there. But the High Elder at the time was saying, no, something's out there. We have one of the bodies in the blooming scribe's lab being analysed. And they're building an army. I believe the people. And he was right to believe the people. He was right to prepare the Brotherhood for war against the Master's super mutant army that they called the Unity. Now, many argue over the Institute's technology and its destruction. But let me put this into a better perspective, right? A group like the Institute that's produced FEV, that has super mutants, that's produced synths that can replace and infiltrate. That's dangerous. That's extremely dangerous. Add into that mix, they can teleport their infiltration units anywhere they please. They can teleport their replacing synths to within meters of the person that the synth is meant to replace. It has to be destroyed because it poses a threat not just to the Brotherhood of Steel, but to civilization. And I actually love how Bethesda's highlighted this with 76's law. Because before that, you know, a lot of us were like, why is the Brotherhood so hell-bent on this? But the answer is, because the Brotherhood of Steel view themselves as the guardians of civilization, the safekeepers of the history and the knowledge of yore. And in a very large sense, they are. The only group that actually rivals the Brotherhood for preserving pre-war knowledge is the followers of the Apocalypse. One of the biggest reasons I dislike the New California Republic is despite knowing that some of what their science will find poses a very real threat to civilization and the survival of mankind. For example, the science data in Vault 22. They will push ahead regardless and use it anywhere just because it holds the possibility of a higher yield of crop. And it's dumb. You're a scientist, not an idiot. Do the science and don't take unnecessary risks. Come on, people. It's the same with the Enclave. It's the same exact mess with the Enclave, right? They have all the scientific knowledge of genetics, of how to manipulate genetics from before the war. And instead of trying to correct the damaged genome of the average wastelander, they instead choose to destroy. They make modified FEV. Let me highlight the stupidity of that real fast, right? FEV is what makes super mutants. It also makes death claws. It also makes, get this, centaurs. Those abominations that are a fusion of multiple humans or humans with dogs and other animals. Like, hey. But to finish my point here, right? Science unchecked poses a massive threat to the survival of humanity and to what civilization is springing back up. That's why the Brotherhood of Steel is so anti-Institute. That's why they blow them up. That's why they blow up Raven Rock as well. Because they know what's housed within is far too dangerous. But to come to the question of, do you think Elder Lyons did the right thing during 3? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think he went about it the right way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For the longest time before Fallout 4, I actually gravitated more towards the New Vegas Brotherhood's stance of we should be retrieving advanced technology. I ended up siding more with the Outcasts. But then because of Fallout 4 over time, I've realised Lyons had a point. Granted, he was off mission. Granted, he disobeyed orders. But he disobeyed what he perceived to be unconscionable orders. Immoral. Illegal. Wrong. Just as Roger Maxson, the founder of the Brotherhood, viewed the orders at Mariposa as wrong and immoral and unconscionable, so did Lyons. Do I believe Lyons went about it the right way? Absolutely not. I agree that recruiting outsiders was necessary, but I also believe that those in the Brotherhood of Steel who wanted to prioritise retrieving technology should have been allowed to do so. The whole mess of the schism that led to the Outcasts could have been avoided had Lyons only tried to meet them halfway, and then vice versa. But in the end, it's actually forged a better Brotherhood going forwards. Because Arthur Maxon would not be trying to balance the two like he does, as it was originally intended by the founder, had it not been for that. So, let that sink in. Right, let that sink in. Before the question comes up, would my Hidden Valley brothers agree with me? Probably not. Probably not, but then maybe they would. Some of the Brotherhood groups are definitely more steadfast in the isolationist policy than others. And of that, there is no doubt in my mind. You know, there's definitely quite a few of my brothers and sisters in arms who would argue with me over this. You know, it's one of those things. It's a topic that many don't want to talk about. In my full opinion, the only truly right way is either to continue the way of Arthur Maxon in Fallout 4, or return to the original full way of the founder of the Brotherhood of Steel, Roger Maxon. That's the only real way forward. The Brotherhood of Steel under Arthur Maxon is the closest in 200 plus years that the Brotherhood has ever been to doing what it originally set out to do. Now, granted, again, the Brotherhood, even in isolation, has safeguarded civilization to the best of its ability. But at the same time, we need to let outsiders in. We need to let them in, even if we have to keep a very close eye on them for ages. Or we do what Elder Lyons did in the Scourge of the Pit, where he rounded up every non-chogified child, every non-heavily mutated child he could find, and brought them in as squires to the Brotherhood of Steel and raised them as members of the Brotherhood. It has to be done, because otherwise, who will continue our mission? Without a doubt, to answer your question, without a doubt, the West Coast elders have strayed away from what Roger Maxon originally wanted the Brotherhood of Steel to be doing, because they allowed fear of the aftermath of the Great War and the Exodus to allow mistrust and that fear to cloud their minds, right? They allowed fear and mistrust to cloud their minds and govern their actions, instead of looking at it and going, there are still good people out there. But at the same time, they did hold true to the principles of recovering technology, specifically military technology, and the knowledge, historical and technological, of the old world. If ever a group existed in the wasteland, for as old and as technologically and historically well preserved, it'd have to be the Brotherhood. There isn't anyone else. The Enclave doesn't care about the old world, in my opinion. Because the Enclave doesn't say we want to restore America. They say we want to rebuild America. Why would you want to rebuild America as it was? when the correct word is restore. For an artificial intelligence, Eden was pretty bloody stupid. Eden was pretty bloody stupid. I'm gonna say that now. For an AI, that Zax was fucking dumb as rocks. Heck, my terminal in front of me that's turned off has a better IQ than that Zax. If you can't tell, that is a sarcastic joke. Before somebody goes mad. The point here, folks, is, right, at the end of the day, the Enclave's original ideas were very different from how the Enclave ended up. The Enclave was supposed to be continuity of government, contingency plan. Right, their whole thing was they were meant to preserve the government in the event of atomic war and be able to continue the fight if they were in a position to do so and if it was necessary to do so, but also to restore the national government and state governments of America. The Enclave has not done either of those things. Because instead, what the Enclave has become is a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship. It enforces its will on the population, but the population have not voted for the president because the people of the states of the United States haven't elected senators and they haven't elected the party of the candidate of the president. Therefore, the Enclave's government is illegitimate and illegal as fuck. At least that's from my understanding of how US elections work. The Enclave is further from what it was originally made to do than the Brotherhood of Steel. Yes, the Brotherhood of Steel is off course. But it won't be as hard for us to do a course correction and improve our reputation with the population of the wasteland. And that was once the United States of America, as it will for a group like the Enclave, which has literally disintegrated its reputation to the point where even a vacuum cleaner won't bring it back together. Thanks again, by the way, for the other like on the stream. I appreciate it. But see, this is the thing that we have. You know, this is the thing that we have. Is there's so much that's going wrong out there. It's unreal. You know, there's so many groups that went out with the right intention that failed. A group, for a good example, is the Minutemen. The Minutemen went out to help the people of the Commonwealth, to unite them, to give them stability and a degree of safety to the best of their abilities. They did. They did, until their general died. And then internal politics and disagreements destroyed all of that. It fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks. So many great groups have been slammed against the grinder that is the wasteland and have completely disintegrated and fell apart and failed. And then there's groups like the Brotherhood of Steel and the Enclave that, regardless of how evil the Enclave is, it survived. Regardless of how questionable people find the Brotherhood's retrieval of technology, we've survived. Unlike the Enclave, who abandoned everybody, we've indirectly saved a lot of lives. by dealing with threats that pose a real risk to the survival of humanity and to the future of civilization. As the founder of the Brotherhood put it, we will be the guardians of civilization. That is exactly what we are doing. Granted, not in the way that Roger Maxon would have wanted, because he would have wanted us to have a positive reputation with the outside world. He would have wanted us to be beloved by the people, or at the very least liked, accepted, you know, at the bare minimum. He would have not wanted us to be outright distrusted. But again, you know, that highlights another thing. Look at Appalachia. Look at Appalachia, right? I'll answer that in a second, because you're actually not quite correct on that statement. So, to make the case here, before I fully lose track, right? All the groups in Appalachia in 76, all the original groups, Taggarty's Thunder, that became Taggarty's Brotherhood of Steel, the Responders, the Free State. What destroyed them all, really? It wasn't just the Scorched Plague that was unleashed by the Enclave. No. It was the fact that they allowed politics to override survival. They had a common enemy. They had a common enemy that needed to be destroyed for them all to survive. For civilization to have a chance. And instead, they chose to be political and stand against one another instead of uniting. And it's a thing that's happening in real life politics today. People are dividing instead of coming together. And it's dumb. But to come to your question, right? We have 4 choices in Fallout 4. One of them actually lets you save the Institute. And that's obviously to take the Institute route. Now you can argue that an outside non-scientist might destroy the Institute. But here's my counterpoint. They might also fix what's wrong with it. The Institute has the same problem as the Enclave, wherein they lack empathy to anyone outside of their bubble. Now, as for why the other 3 groups, the Railroad, the Brotherhood, and the Minutemen, destroy the Institute, the super mutants of the Commonwealth, that's the Institute's fault. The synths that run around shooting everybody, that's the Institute's fault. The synths that are replacing government officials and causing division in society, Diamond City, for example, with Mayor McDonough, that's the Institute's fault. No, it's not a mod. I'm playing a mod in New Vegas right now, dude. And I can tell you from my vanilla playthrough, when I did the Institute questline, I took over the Institute. I didn't destroy it. I ran it. I ran the thing. I've done it on console. I've took over the Institute. I've done the entire Institute questline. Hi Tilapia. How you doing, friend? It's been a while. It's been a while. But see, there's the thing, right? A lot of people don't understand is there's a lot that goes on in a faction that we do not get to see. If we're, for example, pro-New California Republic and we're anti-Brotherhood of Steel, are we against the Brotherhood of Steel because they take technology and we don't understand why they're doing it? Or are we against the Brotherhood of Steel because the NCR tells us they have to be destroyed? It's like with the Enclave, right? The Enclave has so much mystery, it makes them a cool faction. But at the same time, what we know about them is they're genocidal nutcases who rival a certain Austrian painter with a shitty mustache. I have to be very careful when I crack that joke. The point here is, right, that the Enclave are fucked up. A lot worse than most other factions. The Legion are a very close second, because they are very fucked up also. But the biggest thing that bugs me is you get groups like the New California Republic and the Brotherhood of Steel. And the Brotherhood's been around longer than the NCR, right? And the NCR failed to understand and accept that the Brotherhood of Steel was going to turn around and say, hey, all that Enclave technology is too dangerous to be in the hands of people like you and people who don't know how to properly use it. It could end up in the hands of raiders, you need to give it to us. And they didn't accept that. They didn't accept that. They didn't accept that, and they went to war over it instead. And as a result, or a partial result, the NCR dollar is worth less than a bottle cap. The Brotherhood of Steel melted the NCR's gold and made their currency worthless. And to add insult to injury, the Brotherhood of Steel in Lost Hills is still there. They're still there. And they're still being a pain in the ass of the NCR as of Fallout 4. Now, I hope, for the love of sanity, that the NCR makes peace with the Brotherhood of Steel and just gives us the very dangerous military hardware that we were originally asking for. Because let's be honest, we've survived over 200 years. And we've made the wasteland a safer place. Granted, we haven't done it directly all the time. But we've definitely been a much safer alternative to a group like the Raiders, who will otherwise use it to try to stamp you out, or the Gunners, who'll use it to, again, stamp people like the Minutemen out. You know, at the end of the day, there's so much potential that could have come from the Brotherhood of Steel and the NCR. Just so much potential that was there. To my moderator, I actually wanted that comment up. In case you hit it, I actually wanted that up. Because I agree with it. Fuck the New California Republic. All the NCR does is roll over people. Fuck them. Fuck them. All they do is roll over people who don't even want them to be there. Right, look at the Mojave, right? Let me stand up again and open it. No, that's not it. I just took my gun off, I think. Or did I equip my gun? No, I equipped my gun. But look at this. Right? Let me give you an example. People here. The people here. They don't want the NCR. They don't want the NCR. You get these idiots, the powder gangers. Whose fault are they? NCR. Prim, they don't want the NCR. Yeah, they have the NCR literally right across the street. These idiots. NCR. These people in Vegas and in Freeside, they don't want the NCR either. The vast majority of people in the Mojave, they don't want these idiots. They don't want the Legion. And they don't want these idiots either. The NCR. But I can tell you what, they'll accept these clowns over these clowns. Right? The people will accept this over this. This above this. Any day of the week, the Legion or the NCR. They will choose the NCR. Now, if you made an independent Vegas, they'd want that. They'd want a strong, independent Vegas. Instead of either this or this. And the Brotherhood of Steel, well, we mostly ain't a bother to the majority of people. So the majority of people don't care. Right? That's the thing about it. The people don't want the Legion. The people don't want the new California Republic. But the people accept that the new California Republic is a heck of a lot better than Caesar's Legion. The NCR are not wanted in the Mojave. They are tolerated in the Mojave. That is the massive difference. Liberty Prime is currently deployed on the East Coast. And unless Maxon can get the Pride one back west without any issue, such as, you know, the Institute ending or any anti-Brotherhood ending being canon causing a problem with that, then we're not going to be able to do that. Failed ideals. Well, the ideal of the people choosing their government, that's not a failed ideal. That worked for more than 200 years. That worked for a hell of a long time. But you know what worked? Do you know what worked before that? Monarchies. Direct monarchies. Do you know what worked before that? In Rome, it was a democracy that then became a dictatorship. That went back and forth between dictatorship and democracy. But the point is, democracy, for the longest time in history, was the way that people majority were led. Or they were led by somebody who they felt was anointed by their deity or deities. And again, it was a direct monarchist rule, such as the pharaohs in Egypt or the kings and queens of Europe. But democracy, for the majority of history, has been the deciding factor. That's how the vast majority of the world through history has been. So the NCR's ideal of democracy is not the problem. It's their implementation of democracy that's the problem. They haven't took steps to prevent corruption from taking root. And that is their biggest problem, beyond groups like the Crimson Caravan having a monopoly on a lot of things. That's their biggest issues. That's their biggest issues. Right there. Right? You can say what you will, but that's their biggest issues. Thank you for the like, by the way, on the stream. I appreciate all the likes on the stream. But there's the ultimate thing that a lot of people don't understand, is not only can we not apply our real life view to Fallout's world because it doesn't always work out, but we also have to look at it from our perspective and try to put ourselves in the people living in that world's shoes. You have to try to look at it as if you were in that situation. And that's what people today don't do. I'm going to be real with you, right? The Galactic Empire itself was corrupt. Right, I'm a Galactic Empire fan all the way. Because they were the legitimate government. But the problem is, they were as corrupt as the Republic before it, maybe more so. What did the Empire achieve when the Emperor died? Nothing. They all started infighting. Instead of electing a new Emperor, they chose instead to fight to see who was strong enough to unite the Empire by conquest. And it allowed the rebels to win. And the rebels became the New Republic. And the New Republic was a mess. That's why I support the First Order. If I have to go with anything in Disney, it's the First Order led by Emperor Palpatine. Forget the Jedi. That Jedi fake Skywalker. Forget that. Keep that away. But the point here that I'm making, right, is it all comes down to how you implement a democracy and how you police corruption and whether or not the people's demands, because they're not requests, they are demands, are heard. That's what makes a legally binding referendum something that I think should be done on every major decision that a nation takes. Shouldn't just be left up to politicians to bicker and argue. No. It should be put to the people. As it's stated in the US Constitution, we the people. The Enclave has forgotten that. The NCR has forgotten that. Heck, the current real-life politicians have forgotten that. We the people make the nation's economy grow. We the people elect the party and the party leader to office. We the people should have a say in tax and where things need to be cut. And many other topics that are important and can cause division in society. Not just a small minority, the whole nation should have a say. Everyone who can legally vote, that is. But if we're to look at things from a wasteland perspective, the NCR is trying to do the right thing and going about it all wrong. The Minutemen are trying to do the right thing, and again, they're going about it all wrong. Look at groups like the Brotherhood of Steel that help indirectly up until Maxon in Fallout 4. Arthur Maxon starts protecting the caravan trade routes, deploying soldiers to reman old pre-war military checkpoints, strategic locations around the Commonwealth, making it that bit safer. What does that do in a region? It brings about a sense of safety in these areas. It brings about order. And what do you get from safety and order? You get the foundation of civilization. No more raiders, no more abominations made by science running amok. Protection from even the wildlife. The Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4 is, in my honest opinion, the best chance the Commonwealth will ever have of restoring a government. Ever. Because we offer them that foundation. The safety and the order needed for stability and government to have a chance to get off the ground. That's quite funny, Tilapia. Not gonna lie, man. Trying to keep a bit of grip on your phone. But this is the thing. This is the thing. How many other groups are trying
to safeguard humanity, to prevent humanity's extinction, to guard civilization and its knowledge, and have the actual years of survival in the wasteland as proof that they can get it done beyond the Brotherhood of Steel.
Well, we all know the answer, even if we don't want to say it. None. None.
Say what you will about the sword, gears, and wings that marks the Brotherhood. Say what you will about this on this wall. Say what you will of this logo and the people behind it. Say what you will, but we have the proof of years behind us and the combat experience and the rigid military structure you all need to restore civilization, law, order, and government. We have the years and the experience to bring you that foundation, for you to elect a government, for you to decide laws. The NCR would not have had a stable enough California to exist had it not been for the Brotherhood of Steel. Their whole existence can be chalked up to two things: the Vault Dweller of Vault 13 and the Brotherhood of Steel. Because had it not been for that Vault Dweller of Vault 13, President Tandy would not have been rescued from the raiders known as the Great Khans. Had it not been for the Brotherhood of Steel, the raider gangs would have outnumbered the NCR 50-1. The Jackals and the Vipers were stamped out, almost to non-existence, by the Brotherhood of Steel. If not for us, they would not exist. If not for the Vault Dweller of Vault 13, they would not exist. As quoted in Fallout 1 by Scribe 3, without us, humanity is sure to perish, for we are the last hope this tortured planet and its people have. That was proven with Fallout 76, because the minute Fort Defiance and the Brotherhood fell, everyone else went not long after. We were the first line and the last line of defense of Appalachia against the Scorch Plague that went on to wipe out everyone else. The Brotherhood of Steel did that. No one else. So say what you will of us who don the symbol before me. Say what you will, because without us, you might not live to see tomorrow. Let that sink in. I don't know enough about Starfield to give a full answer, but more than likely, I would definitely more than likely end up building a group that champions the safeguarding of civilization. Yes, because that's the right thing to do. We need to stand together, not divide ourselves. Politicians seek to divide us. But what are politicians without us? Nothing but blabbering idiots. And we all know what a politician really is. A professional liar. Groups like the Followers of the Apocalypse
And the Minutemen.
they have all good intention, but in the end, look at where they are. followers are struggling to even treat Freeside in New Vegas. The Minutemen are non-existent, bar one guy in Concord, till you say this sorry but, and you start to rebuild them. But what is the Brotherhood of Steel? Something that has stood the test of time in the wasteland. Something that has shrugged off super mutants, death claws, and all the other freaks and mutated horrors that became of animal life in this once beautiful nation. Heck, this once beautiful world even. The Brotherhood of Steel has stood the tests. And granted, we have a few bad eggs and a few rotten apples, the same as every other group. But we have stood the test of time. We have held back the horrors and made it safe enough for groups like the NCR to exist. We give hope to the Commonwealth that that may be the case for them too. What do we ask in return? Only that you hand over to us the advanced military hardware, the dangerous technology. And if you're lucky, you might just get a Brotherhood chapter that offers you caps, or ammunition, or medicine that you desperately need in exchange. More than likely, you will encounter a chapter that offers a finder's fee. Unless they're led by somebody like Harden, who is a hard ass. But the vast majority of the Brotherhood of Steel has held true to their pre-war military roots, in the sense of they do not attack you, even the outcasts, for having advanced technology. I've walked up to Hidden Valley in my vanilla playthrough in full power armor. They gave it back to me. I had a unique plasma rifle. They gave the one in Repcon. They gave it back to me. They gave me a show of trust. Yeah, granted, I had a very unpleasant device around my neck as insurance. But beyond that, I can understand where they came from. Do I like what they did? No. Do I understand where they came from? Yeah. Yeah, I do, because they were bloody paranoid. And rightly so. The Steel Templars. I don't know about them. I don't know of them. Who are they? There's my response. Who are you, sir? Who are you, sir? And why are you trying to emulate the Brotherhood? And as if I'm right in guessing that that's what you're doing. See, here's the thing, right? The Outcasts, I'll mention this, right? The Brotherhood Outcasts, right? They confiscate their gear off you. And that's it. At least as far as I remember, I can replay it. I can replay it on here and stream it. I'll even start a new character and go up to them for the first time in different power armors and see what happens on stream. Just to test that theory. To come back to the Steel Templars, are we on about the ones from Warhammer or the ones from Fallout? Because if we're on about the ones from Fallout, again, I don't really know much about them. Ah, what's this?
What the fuck is this?
Honestly,
Where are people getting this law from?
I'm gonna be honest here, right? From what I'm reading here, is that they're not a canon group. And then you got the ones, the Crusaders of Steel from that fucking horrible mod we found here. They're not even on the actual Fallout wiki. They're not even on the actual Fallout wiki, man. I'm looking over the actual Fallout wiki. These clowns ain't even on there.
In the Brotherhood logo upside down and fucking taking 2 years off, you cheeky sods. You cheeky sods. You're not supposed to put a military insignia upside down.
You're not supposed to hang a flag upside down either.
Do not ever hang a national flag upside down. Because it's actually military code. It means that you're in distress. And it can land you in some seriously hot water.
Yeah, there's not even a mention of these Steel Templars as an official division of the Brotherhood of Steel. They're not even mentioned in the wiki. Period. The Brotherhood outcasts are.
They're not.
Paladin Dale Horst. Let me have a look at him then.
Let's see what I can find on this man. Again, right, so
this is on the fandom wiki.
right?
This is on the fandom wiki, but it is not on the Fallout wiki.
So I don't know where the fuck this came from. Like, where did this law come from? What is the source of this apparent law? Where did it come from? Where did that come from?
There's not even a lot of information about this group.
At all. Like, I'm actively trying to look it up as I talk to you guys. And there's just nothing there. Jeremy Maxon was mentioned in the cancelled Van Buren. Cancelled games are not largely considered canon. Jeremy Maxon did not appear in any game. He was only ever mentioned in Van Buren design documents, but was not going to appear in the game itself. So that entire connection point, although he was friends with Jeremy Maxon, well, Jeremy Maxon has not appeared even on Fallout 3's Citadel terminal entries, as far as I can tell, from what I've just read from the Fallout Wiki. So I don't know what to say there.
See, here's the thing though, right? If you're a group of assassins
Who do as that states, which is go around attacking anyone you wish, you're a raider. You're a raider. You're attacking and taking whatever you want. You're a raider in power armor. And honestly, if you want my honest opinion on what should happen to you, if you are former Brotherhood of Steel, you should be captured alive, dragged to the highest authority, local chapter, or even dare I say, dragged across country to Lost Hills, put on a court-martial, and if found guilty, you should then face summary execution by firing squad. You should be put in your place.
To quote Paladin Henry Kasdan, turned Protector Henry Kasdan, even if that place is in front of a firing squad. That's my thoughts on the matter.
That's my thoughts on the matter, right?
I understand that many feel like the only way to win a fight can often be to be ruthless, to be cruel, to be evil. But that's not how you win a fight. That's how you make more people turn against you and join your enemy, and then whoop your butt instead. A bit of wisdom I was given from friends of mine who've served in the military is a policy they call hearts and minds. You must win the hearts and minds of the populace, because
without them you can't get fresh troops. Without fresh troops you cannot fight, because you cannot win, because you'll run out of people. You also can't get fresh supplies, like food, water, ammunition, medicine.
Without
the outsiders, you're fucked. Because you can't replenish your scribes, that you need to get the supplies, or to make the supplies, so you're fucked. Don't do it, it's a very stupid thing to do. Thank you to whoever just left a like, I appreciate it. As you can see by the fact that I will have more than once look to my left to the logo on the wall. And I'll even show you this, right? I'll stand up, right? So look at my power armor. You think he's wearing Brotherhood of Steel T51? No. No, I'm not. See what that says? T51B. I am using a modded set of T51B to have the Brotherhood of Steel logo on it. Because otherwise, my intentions to make peace with the New California Republic are instead going to be met with a hail of bullets. I do not like being shot at. I will shoot back. Especially in New Vegas. They want to attack Undertaker. Let me guess, it's a guy called Undertaker God they're targeting. Because if they're targeting him, I've got news for them. Very, very, very dumb idea. That is so bad of an idea, even I won't jump in trying that kind of thing, because I know how many groups are with Undertaker. I used to be a part of his community with my guys. We're not in it anymore. We left. That's all I'm going to comment on that. We left over disagreement and misunderstanding. But we're on good terms. Yeah, so my advice to anybody wanting to fight Undertaker God, do not attempt to do it. He has more groups behind him than even I am willing to throw down with. And I have thrown down with a lot of people on 76. 3 years. 3 years I was at war with people on 76. Non-stop. I survived. He has more people than I was fighting. And if I'm telling you, don't do it, it's a very bad idea, trust me, it is a very bad idea. You will lose more members than you will ever gain. Trust me. I would know I fought a war like that for 3 years, non-stop. So I am qualified to tell you, it is a very bad idea. I survived because I spoke to Undertaker, who is now Undertaker God, and I asked him to help get me out of the mess, to help me straighten out the misunderstandings with all these groups and smooth over relations. And he helped me. He and several other people. So, on this stream, I will say this. Thank you, Undertaker. And thank you to all those who helped Undertaker in getting that fighting to stop against me. I greatly appreciate what you did. And if anyone attacks Undertaker, because he's done so much for me, just to warn you, I will jump in on his side as another group that you have to deal with. And I can assure you, I'm stubborn enough to survive. As long as it takes for you to get bored and fuck off. Or as we say in England, you will get bored and you will bugger off before I do. I am, as Maxon put it, too damn stubborn, too ornery to die.
The Enclave Armed Forces, they are no longer a thing, at least on PS4, PS5. So on PSN, the EAF are not a thing. They want to take down Raiders. I know several Raiders who even I will not throw down with. Again, I am a guy who has been at war for 3 years straight against, I'd say about 9, 10, maybe 11, 12, possibly 13 groups. I lost count after 5. Right? I can guarantee I had 5 groups at once at any given time trying to kill me for 3 years straight and trying to kill my group. And they failed. Because I'm that kind of leader who will just inspire my men through rhetoric of the Brotherhood to carry on. I am too stubborn and damned ornery to give up. Ask anyone else like Dark and Angel why they stopped trying to kill me. They'll answer, he's way too fucking stubborn. That's Elder Horrigan. That's Viper97 Gaming. He's just too stubborn to surrender. I did surrender to a few groups. The surrender didn't last long. The peace didn't last long. We ended up fighting again. Because we misunderstood each other. Or I miscommunicated. The fact of the matter is, right, I in the end held myself accountable. And that's what you have to do as a leader. That's how I ultimately got help. Is I held myself accountable. And I had help internally from members holding me accountable, going, Elder, this isn't gonna end well for us. Elder, we're losing men. Elder, stop doing this. It's making it worse. I had help from so many people. Because I was just too stubborn to admit I was in the wrong. I was just too stubborn to admit I was going to lose, and I was losing. In the end, I won. Because I survived. And I made peace with everyone, as far as I know. Except one guy. One guy, formerly known as Ratchet the Medic, who I now call Mr. I change my name every 5 seconds. Who's now more commonly known as Megatron. Going by Darth Vader, I've mentioned him in the past stream. Go back and watch the episode 7. Go back and watch the other stream. I mentioned his current username on there. Right, he's the only guy at current that I'm aware of that I have an issue with. So if anyone else has an issue with me, I don't know you have an issue with me. So you're kind of just irrelevant, I guess. I don't even know what to call you. But honestly, that's hilarious. And it's a very bad idea. And I can say that from experience. Right? I can say it from experience. Don't go there. You will not have a good time when you have over 9 different groups whooping your ass. 5 at any given time is the highest I can remember. And I know there was more than that. So if I'm telling you, you will have so many groups on your ass that it makes the game practically unplayable for you and your members. Unless you're in privates. I ain't joking. I ain't joking. Because that's how bad it will get for you. If not worse. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Lady Ghoul. There's a name I haven't seen in a long time. I don't blame anyone who wants to kick her backside. Because she was a griefer. She was one of the people who actually initially was attacking me. She would say shit, get me riled up to say shit. Record me giving her back the exact same thing she'd given to me. She would record me for giving her equality. Because back then I couldn't really capture card anything. Because it was PS3. I couldn't really do anything. Even on PS4, I couldn't really do anything. Now I can. Now I'll stream you. The minute you start running your mouth. But see, there's the thing.
With the Fallout community is,
Again,
you know,
we're going at people without having the big picture. People like Lady Ghoul I've had a bad encounter with. Some people will even back me who were once her allies, her friends, her comrades in arms. And they will tell you she's a backstabber.
I find it funny that people are after Raider God. I find that funny as well. That's one of the people I won't go near. I won't go near Raider God if I can help it. Big if on if I can help it.
But I'll be sure to pass that along. I'll be more than happy to pass that along to Undertaker.
Ooh. Ooh, get a lot of this. How long have I been live? Damn, I've been live a good minute now, haven't I?
Understatement. Understatement. Understatement, folks, and how long I've been live. Very big understatement. But I have been live. Let's see if I can find it. 021647.
I've been live a good while with this one. This has definitely been one of my longest streams. And I do enjoy these quite a bit.
So, I am going to wrap this stream up.
In a few moments now. Thank you very much for everybody for joining me. I appreciate all the likes as well, thank you very much. To the dude who subscribed to the channel, who's new to the channel, welcome. I hope you stick around. I hope you enjoy the topics that get discussed on this channel. As largely as of late, I'm just mostly doing this kind of thing where I talk with the viewers, I express my views, I voice my opinions and beliefs on Fallout. I'll give lore, I'll even check the lore as I'm talking to you, in case, you know, I'm not quoting something quite right. But again, you know, it's been great today. Hopefully I see you all around again next time. I cannot give an exact time as to when the next stream is going to be. Because honestly, I don't ever keep up with the damn schedule. I really need to, but I just can't find the time to do it. Because there's always something going on. I'm always trying to find a new story.
Speaking of a new story, I did try something.
Earlier, a mod. I tried a mod in New Vegas that let me fly a vertibird. It was impossible to land the bloody thing. I needed to reload the main guns and I couldn't land. That was a pain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for saying that.
Another thing I will say before I do
Terminate the stream here, before I put the ending screen on, is that one of the biggest things that this channel will not do is edit, unless it's to put things in. I don't take things out of my videos. I have only ever put in stuff. So things like with the data mines of 76 back when I put those on the channel, those were only inserts. There was nothing taken out. I don't take stuff out of my content. People keep telling me I should shorten my videos, I should edit stuff out. I don't want to do that. I feel that that's going to be dishonesty with my viewers. I don't want to do that. Again, I keep getting told to do it. I really don't want to. But it is what it is. So, this all being said,
Thank you very much.
to everyone who has joined me, I hope you have had a good time. I know I have. I know I've had a very good conversation. Hopefully you've learned something new about Fallout. If not, well, there's always next time. Right now the ads are doing my head in because they won't get off. Can't get the music on to close out because the ads are in the way.
Gotta love YouTube. So that is going to be it for this stream, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope you've had a great time. I know I have. Again, tend to ramble at the end quite a bit here, so it's quite funny, really. I do it even on my videos. I'll just ramble at the end. It's just something I do.
But
to quote everybody's favourite DJ from Fallout 3, don't feed the outline. That is all. But I've learned to embrace it, cause I've been working, I've been waiting, never complacent, cause I'm so close I can taste it, wanted away from everything I've been chasing. I'm honest and I promise that I got this, I'm launching, all I've wanted has been exhausting. I'll teach you how to harness, control the conscious. You got this, yeah you got this, you gotta want it. Life ain't fair, are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah you must be rare. Got 'em like, hey, 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 I will not stop, I am prepared.